Hey everybody, welcome back to Ultimate ADOM, Caverns of Chaos. So, with our most recent patch, they've added a very important feature, the ability to save and load games. With that in mind, I think we are ready to take our first serious stab at Ultimate ADOM, create a character, and try to get to the bottom of the Caverns of Chaos. The game is winnable. Not all of the quests are implemented. Actually, I don't think any of the side quests are fully implemented, although there is one you can take. But from my understanding, the game is winnable, and we're going to take our best shot at it. I have the last couple days kind of taken a deeper dive into Ultimate ADOM, put a considerable number of hours into it, and I've got two things for you. One, this game has a lot more depth than you would think. I know it's an early access, and there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been implemented, but once you get a little further down the dungeon, there are a lot of interesting things to explore. Next up, I will say, again, early access, so don't be judging. There are bugs. There may be a few bugs, just a couple. I've only run into one serious crash, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that and talk to you guys about how to avoid it and deal with it and mitigate it if it happens to you, where you don't lose your progress. The other thing I'm going to talk about is more serious bug that basically causes the game to slow to a crawl to the point it's almost unplayable. There is a way to work around that, so I'm going to go over that with you, and then as we play, I'll just note a few other more general bugs that you need to be aware of while playing Ultimate ADOM. Final thing, I guess, before we get started, audio, guys. Audio. Somebody mentioned on Facebook, and then also as a comment on YouTube, that the audio in the last few videos has been a little wonky. So I put some major work into redoing my audio setup. Hopefully it's better now. Please leave me feedback in the comments. I know it sounds crazy. I actually do some videos similar to this professionally for clients. I have professional gear to do that with. I go ahead and I put in the effort and I make sure all the audio levels are good and the lighting is good and everything's awesome. You know, this is a hobby, guys. I'm not making money at it. I don't have a lot of free time. So, I sit down, I start to play, I throw OBS on and start recording. So you'll have to excuse me if things aren't super polished. Do not take this as a representation of my professional work if you were thinking about hiring me. Okay, let's jump on in. We're going to do a custom character. Embarrassing thing, by the way, so this is actually my second take. I started to record this, was going all right, wasn't paying attention, died a ridiculously embarrassing death, and so I cut the recording off and started all over again. Yep, that was a thing that happened. But let's talk about factions. So, when we get out of early access, factions are going to affect a lot, okay? From our standards, it's going to affect the storyline, the quests, and what your actual goal in the dungeon is. Right now, all they affect is your alignment, and some of them affect your stats. Alignment, so I've encountered one quest giver in the game, and he will only give quests to balanced characters, I believe it is, or neutral. I think it's balanced. The thing is, I don't actually think you can complete his quest right now in early access, so that's pointless. So what we're going to look at is stat bonuses, okay? And right now there's a clear winner, okay? There's a clear winner. So Ranelbin, he aligns you to balance. He doesn't give you a stat bonus. Church of the Eternal Stun, no stat bonuses. Yillanandramath gives you an extra gold heap per level. Nesera provides +2 to Perception, +3 to Willpower, Rolf the Last Dwarven Emperor, +2 to Willpower, Legion of Andor Draken, no stat bonus. Mad Minstrel, no stat bonus. Unaligned, no stat bonus. Clearly, we're going with Nesera. Alright. Because, Rolf gives you +2 willpower, she gives you 3 willpower and 2 perception. So, gold is useless right now in early access. Nesera is the only real choice. Gender. Huge shout out to the developers for this. I love how inclusive they are with the gender, and it makes so much sense with such a fleshed out, huge fantasy world. There would be all of these options, okay? It makes sense to me. It's inclusive. I love it. It also, like the original item, affects stats. I think right now there's some balancing issues, which I'm sure when we get out of early access will be addressed. But you need to be aware of them in early access. So, male, +2 strength. Female, +2 dexterity. Neuter, +1 to dexterity, +1 to strength. Oh, excuse me. Neuter, +1 to toughness, +1 to willpower. Both, +1 to dexterity, +1 to strength. Non-binary, +1 to appearance, +1 to charisma. Appearance and charisma, I believe, are completely useless right now in the game, in early access. Tentacled, +1 to toughness. Okay, so check out Tentacled, +1 to toughness. Check out Neuter, +1 to toughness, +1 to willpower. So if you're into toughness, Neuter is in every way superior to Tentacled. So we're going Neuter. I like toughness. High Elf, Human, Mountain, Dwarf, Ratling. So these affect your hit point regeneration and your power point regeneration and your size. Size determines what you can equip. I am not sure if they affect other things. Like, I kind of have a feeling that humans get more mundane skill points than the other races, but I could be wrong. I don't know. We're going human. Profession. Again, I have a feeling these also affect skill points. I'm not certain of that, though. They do affect stats. Adventurer, +1 to dexterity, +1 to learning, +1 to mana, +1 to toughness, +2 to perception, -1 appearance, -1 willpower. Archer, +1 to appearance, +1 to strength, +3 to perception, +4 to dexterity. Fighter, +1 to toughness, +1 to willpower, +3 to strength, -2 to learning, -3 to mana. Priest, +1 to charisma, +2 to learning, +3 to mana, +4 to willpower, -1 to dexterity. You regenerate an additional power point every 10 turns. Wizard, excuse me while I die for a minute. Wizard, +1 to dexterity, +1 to perception, +2 to charisma, +3 to learning, +3 to mana, +3 to willpower, -1 toughness, -1 strength. Regenerate an additional 1 power point per 6 turns. We're going to go to Adventure because I want to be a little more well-rounded. Excuse me, I was just checking something on OBS there. We are continuing. So now we're to skills, right? So how skills work? We have 4 generic points. We'll get down to magical skills. This is, we have 3 magical points +4. The +4 mean that's the generic points we were just looking at. I also want to scroll down here and look at arcane. So we have an additional arcane point, arcane 1 +7. +7 is the 4 generic points, and then the 3 magical points added in as well. So we have 1 specific to arcane, 3 magical skill points, 4 generic skill points. I think an important note, we're going to talk about bugs for a minute. I think that ranged combat with weapons is bugged. If you attempt to shoot an arrow or use a sling against an enemy that's standing right next to you, it says you can do so, but then the attack fails. Since there are enemies you don't want to melee, that is very important, okay? Karmic Lizards, if you guys remember them from ADOM, they are in this game, as are Rust Monsters. They're things you don't want to melee. So with that in mind, you need an alternative to melee, preferably ranged. And unfortunately, slings and bows just don't work right at the moment. So with that in mind, I think you really have to invest some points in magic, specifically arcane. So we're going to come down here, arcane skills. We're going to go with pyromancy. Hydromancy is also a valid option. We're going to go ahead and take firebolt. And we are also going to take decreased pyromancy spell cost. I will say characters initially start with an abysmal number of power points. I'll show you guys how to address that, but do not rely on spells without taking this next note. We're going to go to literacy, which is a mundane skill. Reading is currently not implemented. All these skills I'm taking right now, these literacy skills, completely useless. The reason we're taking them, at the end of the literacy skill tree, which we can't get to this right now because it requires at least level 2, we get power regeneration and we get improved maximum power. The first one gives us 50 extra power points, then 100, then 150. There's a balancing problem here. Spellcasters without those skills just don't have enough power points to be effective. And then when you do get these skills, you get so many power points, you never run out. You need to start with more base power points, and these skills should give you less, in my humble opinion. Athletics is another valuable skill tree. It lets you increase base stats, DV, PV, speed, and your ability to jump, also later hit points and encumbrance. Scavenging is important. Don't take the gold skills. Gold doesn't do anything in the game right now, as far as I can tell. The loot enemies is very important because, like, you'll see an enemy wearing a mithril armor and you want it. If you have higher levels in loot enemies, you have a higher chance of them dropping the mithril armor for you. The chest skill similarly is useful. It increases your chance of getting good loot from chests. I haven't messed around with stealth, but I hear it's actually useful. It's effective. I guess it's different than how it worked in ADOM. Like, I guess you enter a stealth mode that lets you sneak around levels. I haven't tried it. I haven't messed with it. I heard it's actually pretty cool. I believe they also have a detect traps skill, which can be very useful. So there is all of that. We will go back up here. We will go to martial skills. Not going to take any of the ranged martial skills, because like I said, they're bugged. As far as axes, blunt weapons, long blades, pole arms, quarterstaves, and short blades go, I'm not sure which ones are better and which ones are worse. I say we're going to go ahead and take pole arms just for the heck of it. And I'm going to immediately increase this until I have access to an accuracy increase, because I find the base to hit on all of the weapons to be very lacking. Like, to the point that the game, it bores you to tears while you just swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss. The base to hit chance, I think, as this game is tweaked, needs to be increased so that it's at least halfway playable without that skill. But anyway, we're going to take that. Next up, we're going to take heavy body armor. It's a preference, heavy, light, or medium body armor. I'm going to take heavy. I'm going to deflect critical hits and get bonus to PV. So this increases our PV by 10% with a minimum of 2. So if we have a 20 PV armor, or 30 PV armor, we're going to get plus 3 to PV. If we have a 10 PV armor or 20 PV armor, we're going to get plus 2 to PV. Okay. Actually, I think it's wrong, because look, it says in the description plus 2, but at the bottom it says plus 1. So I guess it's any armor up to 20, you would get plus 1 PV, and then 20 you would get plus 2, 30 you would get plus 3, I think. So that's all of our martial skill points. We still have magical skill points to spend. Let's go back to arcane. We could also invest them into curing, animacy, protection. Those are all useful. But I think we're just going to focus on pyromancy for this run. I'm going to go ahead and learn Burning Hands, because it's cheaper to cast than the Firebolt. Which is going to be important until we get our PV, or get our spell points up. I'm not sure if fire resistance has any real effect. I don't recall running into any monsters that do fire damage. But then here's a weird one. So the next level is improved health regeneration. So it increases your health regen by 60%. That's a big deal. Health regeneration in this game is very slow. So getting an increase to your health regen is a major boon. Otherwise, you're just going to spend time spamming the spacebar waiting on your hit points to regen, which is so boring. So let's take that. As you noticed, you can skip skills on the tree as long as you meet the requirement. You don't have to get a skill from every tier as long as you meet the requirements. So each of these has like a level requirement and then a number of skills that have to be unlocked previously to unlock that tier. I think that's all of our skill points spent. Close and continue to the game. We'll take a random character name. Excuse me. Nature is hurting and corrupted. Cleanse the cave and wait until later in early access for when I have more purpose for you. Avenger of the Forest. Thank you. And we have a mohawk mullet by the look of it. I hit Seed Auto Explore. We just got corrupted by a corruption trap. Corruption does not currently do anything in the game other than lower your score. Satiation also doesn't matter. They're not implemented yet. We're going to pick up all these items for future use. I also want to show you guys something. So because we took the heavy body armor skill at the start, we started the game with over here. Okay. I'm confused. See, normally, what happens is, if your character has one of these skills, you'll get a matching equipment. So, for instance, we took pole arms, so my understanding is we're guaranteed to spawn with some sort of pole arm. In this case, an iron spear. I also thought because we took heavy body armor, it was guaranteed we would spawn with heavy body armor. Oh, I'm reading it wrong, guys. I'm reading it wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Ignore me. That is heavy body armor. You get my point then, okay? Because we took the heavy body armor skill, we started with heavy body armor. It's medium-sized heavy body armor. You can see it's heavy body armor down in the qualities. If I'd taken medium armor as a skill, we would start with medium. Light armor, we started with light armor. So in this case, we started with heavy body armor. That's why there's also an argument for investing a single skill point into in the shield skill tree, because then you're guaranteed to spawn with a tree. But from what I've seen, shields are pretty easy to get, so although I do invest in shields later in the game, it's not something you have to worry about at the start. So there's that. I am unsure why we spawn with a second weapon. I don't know if there is a penalty for fighting with two weapons at once or not at this point. But we are going to equip this small iron shield. Gives us +2 to DB. We've got our iron spear. You see, if we want to, we picked up rags, but we couldn't equip it. That's because it's small. This is very realistic, and I actually like it. So what equipment has size points. In this case, it's 4, which falls into the small category. So to give you the simplified version, small characters can equip small weapons and armor without a penalty. Large characters can equip large weapons and armor. Medium characters equip medium-sized. If the size points are too far off from your size, you can't equip it at all. If it's only a little bit off, you can equip it, but you equip it at a penalty. So it'll only be like 80% effective, 90% effective, 70% effective, and so forth. I actually like that, and the patch has fixed some things. So before the patch, you would grind forever before you'd find anything that fits you. Now the drop rate for equipment that fits is a little higher, so you'll find more equipment options. So we're going to hit C to search again. Walked over a bridge, found a door, fighting a bat. Kill this guy who's ranging us, destroy this mushroom, pick up everything again, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Kill this guy, pick up all his stuff, pick up everything, fight this guy, kill him, pick up all of his stuff. That is a better shield than we have. We currently have a small iron shield. That is just a plain iron shield. So we're going to unequip our small shield and equip the iron shield. There we go. And we're just going to carry all the random crap we find on the ground. We're going to keep it with us, okay? So we'll get that arrow. Yes, they can shoot over things like crystals. We have to break it to get it out of the way. Kill him. Take his stuff. We're about to put that hat on because we don't have a hat. Actually, the hat does not fit. Sad day. We have a leather cap, but it doesn't give us any advantage. So, okay. Hit C to auto-explore. Kill the bat. Auto-explore. Auto-explore. The junk up off the ground, even if we're never going to use it. More auto-explore. Open this door to show you guys another bug. So we just opened a door. You would think the auto-explore would go down this hallway since it's the closest unexplored area. Sometimes it does, but usually you'll see he goes somewhere else. For whatever reason, the auto-explore prioritizes areas that are not blocked off by open doors over areas blocked by open doors. I put blocked in quotes, okay? Why is that an issue? So let's say I just opened a door, I fully explored the level except for one little area over on the other end. Instead of going into the room that is not explored, where I just opened the door, your character will run all the way to the other end of the level. Not a big issue on a small level. Horrible, horrible deal on larger levels. Here's an interesting thing. Let's look at this. So, that's a deep body of water. And that is a deadly maelstrom of water. So, deadly maelstroms of water, keep an eye out for them. If you step on them, they will suck your character under the water and they will drown. So, like, I can step in the water. We're all good. If I step on that, instant death. Our door, it was trapped. This room has basically mini-bosses. These characters that are in here that we're fighting are higher level than the rest of the zone. So it's basically like a mini-boss fight. And you'll find that on a couple other levels, just skeletons a little tough to kill. So yeah, I mean, basically, certain levels around the stairs or some other feature, the enemies will spawn at a higher level initially, just to give you a little bit of a challenge. We picked up a ruin. Let's look at that really quick. It's a minor rune of accuracy. I can drag it to my iron short spear. Boom. Equips it, and our short spear is slightly more accurate. We'll talk to this gentleman. Oh, I tried to use an ADOM command. Key bindings. Hail thee, adventurer! Thou hast been chosen by fate to alter its course. Empower thee I shall to do that. Receiveth my gift, so that thou art able to harvest energy from the very fabric of reality. Use this gift wisely to choose the high path. The shady figure gestures at you. Without further advance warning, you feel tremendous power floating and rippling through your body. You will now be able to harvest the very essence of reality from items in order to fuel your health, magic powers, and knowledge. Use this gift wisely. Continue. Technically, you will now be able to destroy items in exchange for hit points, power points, or experience points. This can be done using the buttons in the lower right corner of the inventory screen. To be able to use these buttons, you must be standing at a position with items on the ground. These items can then be destroyed in exchange for energy. You become able to harvest hit points starting at level 6, power points starting at level 1, and experience points starting at level 2. Interesting thing here, guys. So I've experimented with the pre-gen characters. The levels you get these at vary. But with the pre-gen characters, they're fixed. And I actually think if you do a custom character, or two custom characters are exactly the same, they'll also be the same in that case. So like, let's say I make a character exactly like this one. He should probably get harvest hit points level 6, power points at level 1, and experience points at level 2. Now, the pre-gen dwarf that comes with the game, kind of the pre-built character you can use, he, for instance, always gets experience at level 3. Not quite sure what determines that, but it's good to know that certain builds are going to have this predetermined, so to speak. Experience is good. Really, really good. Lets you level up much faster. Health is situationally useful. Power points is really only useful for spellcaster. We're going to continue to explore this level. There is an enemy, a couple enemies. Let's murder these guys. Pick up everything. Kill the bat. Pick up everything. Break the chest. Pick up that. Kill the rat. Kill the skeleton. Wow, he's kind of tough. Pick up everything. Pick up everything. Kill the rat. Kill the kobold. Really don't think kobolds look like kobolds in this game. I would redo the graphics if I were the developers. There's an orc. We'll murder him. Take all his stuff. Search around. Search around. Kill this guy. Pick up the stuff. And you guys probably already figure why we're doing this. It is because once we hit level 3, or 2, congratulations, you reached level 2, you're now able to harvest experience points. Okay, level 2. We're going to start converting all these junk items to experience points. I was actually holding them for the experience bonus. But right now we're just going to keep holding them. The reason for that is, in some of my previous videos, you saw probably like a kobold lair. You know, the one I died in. That was due to overconfidence. So sometimes when you try to enter the kobold lair, the entrance collapses. Other times it doesn't. I've experimented with that, and my current theory is the entrance collapses if you're too high of a level. Okay? So I think the cutoff is level 3. I think. That's my working theory right now. So we're actually going to try to keep ourselves from reaching level 3 until we go into the Kobold Cavern, and preferably we're going to take a bunch of junk loot in with us so we can convert it to XP as soon as we enter, and right off the bat, level up level 3. And then let's clear level, and I'm going to show you guys another thing. In answer to a question that was on Facebook. Oh, we fully explored the level. So let's, whoop, didn't mean to click there. Let's go back here. Zooming in and out with the mouse wheel. We'll kill this orc. Take off his stuff, go back up here. So a couple things. First of all, you can save mid-game. Save game and continue, hit escape, click that button, it saves the game. That is important because, like I said, I have run into one crash. I would suggest saving every level, and before you press F10. So someone asked on the ADOM forum if there was an ASCII mode, and there is. As you can see, I would say it's not polished. There are problems in it. There are situations where it's almost unusable. So keep that in mind. I don't think it's ready for prime time, but it is available. It's quasi-ASCII, so this is not real ASCII. These are actually just graphical symbols. So you hit F10 to gain access to this. The real reason this is important is we're going to talk about another bug. Sometimes you'll get into a level, and for some reason the game just crawls to a scroll. What? What was I just saying? Blah, 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 blah. Slows to a crawl is what I meant to be saying. Don't know what was up that. Apparently I'm brain damaged. The game slows to a crawl. If you switch to this mode, the game speeds back up again. So when you run into that bug, what you want to do is hit F10, finish the level, and then when you get out of the level, you can switch back out of it. But the crash I was talking about, what I've found is if you interact with certain objects while in this mode, it crashes the game. That's why I say save before you hit F10. That way you have a way to fall back if the game crashes. I would also save just generically on every level. You hit F10 to exit the display mode. There are other display modes. Let me try to remember how to do that. Actually, let's go to controls. Change camera mode F5. So there's a top-down view. And then there's another view. Let me look for that. Actually, I almost think this patch... So there was a view that I'm not seeing in here anymore. Let me try something. F10. There's a 3D ASCII mode. So I'm going to hit F10, and then I'm going to hit F5. There we go. So if you go to this isometric view while in ASCII mode, it actually converts everything to 3D ASCII characters. But we're not going to do that. We're going to switch back out of it. I wonder, does it save that view mode? No, it doesn't. Okay. So that is how you deal with the slowdown if you should encounter it. Let's go downstairs. Loading, 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 loading. Alright. Let's break this Iron Maiden. Nothing. Sometimes there's loot in them, sometimes there's skeletons. Same thing with the tombstones. Oop, wrong button. So that brings up an interesting point. Let's open the game log. So there's things you can toggle here. You can either just view your combat log, or you can just view... I mean, if you turn off your standard log entries, you just see your combat log. You can turn off the combat log, just see standard messages. You can also set it to only show important messages, which I think is pretty decent. A couple other cool things. Go to your inventory. go to Diary. So this keeps track of some important notes, like entered level 1 of the Caverns of Chaos, began your quest, talked to Mysterious Shade on turn 260. I would like to see a little additional information on these, like I think it should tell you what level they happened on. Gained level, entered level 2 of the Caverns of Chaos. You can also add your own custom diary entries. So let's say I wanted to make a note. Let's just call it level 2, so we know. And level 2 is cool. Why is this important? Think back to ADOM, guys. You used to have to keep a pen and paper next to the computer, and you write down, hey, cool on D2, cool in the Unremarkable Dungeon, stuff like that. Blink dogs. Where are the blink dogs? Where are the pools? Where's a vault that you couldn't handle? Things like that. Now you can just enter it in the game. Pretty cool. You also have a general scratch notepad, where you keep more generic notes. Tracks your quests. Tracks information concerning your body. I think it's primarily used for grafting and corruptions. So there you have it. I think it's all pretty cool. Skills. We've got skill points to spend. I'm going to skip Literacy 5 because it doesn't do anything. I am then going to take Improved Power Regeneration 1. We cannot get maximum power until level 3. So we're going to wait on that. We'll go down here to Martial Skills. What do we want to increase? We have 1 point. We can't get our PV2 until we take an additional heavy body skill, so let's go ahead and take Reduced Encumbrance 1. And then we've got 4 generic points to spend. What to spend them on? What to spend them on? Athletics or scavenging. Let's increase toughness by 1. Let's increase DV by 3. And let's increase PV by 2. And then let's increase toughness again. So that's how we're going to spend our points this level. Close. Seed Auto Explore. Actually, there should be a hidden door there. There we go. Oh, there's a quest giver. We'll chat with him. So we are balance. I believe. Neutral, excuse me. We're neutral. This guy will give us a quest because we're neutral. Jokar, the male chosen of Branalbin Black Wizard, who, as you know, is one of the major factions in the game. Fun fact, there is an artifact in the original ADOM called Branalbin's Black Cloak, I believe. It's actually a really good artifact. So this is a homage to him. He says, Hero, there's a book of powerful magic locked away in a nearby vault on this level. Find this book and bring it to me. Will you search for it and retrieve the magical tome? Yes. Excellent. Hurry forward as our enemies do not sleep. Return the tome to me as soon as possible. I don't actually think the tome exists. I don't think there's a way to complete this quest, but you know what? We'll give it a shot. Oh, here are these really tough kobolds who are guarding the kobold lair. Let's murder them. Pick up all the stuff. We got a Rune of the Eagle. Oh, finally a helmet. Rune of the Eagle. Or, excuse me, an Eagle Rune. I don't remember exactly what it does, but if I recall, you want to equip it on a armor. Let's put it on our Iron Splint Mail. What does it do? It increased perception by 2. So, not the best, but it's something, right? Another cool thing I'll show you guys. I'm going to knock over this brazier. Sets the ground on fire. You can use that offensively. So, we don't want to hit level 3 because I think that entrance will collapse when we try to go through it. But we're not level 3 yet, so let's explore the level a little more. And what we're going to do is take a stack of junk loot in with us and use it to level up to level 3 as soon as we go in. Give us a bit of an edge. Take the loot. Break the coffin. Ooh, it had a zombie in it. And we'll murder him. And he drops soft leather gloves. I don't think they give the same stat increases. And there's a ration, which doesn't do anything, but again, we can sack it for experience. Let's talk about traps real quick. So. Oh, actually, I think the trap's gone. It is. Yeah, all these traps are gone. Hold on. Let's find a better trap, because I want to show you guys something. But we need an active trap for me to show it to you. Okay. Let me fight these guys, and then we'll get back to that. Take the loot. Take the loot. Take the loot. Take the loot. We're going to equip that robe. I don't think Cursed and Blessed status is part of the game yet. So we got to wait on that. Do we not have any gloves on? Are any of these useful? No. Alright. That leather cloak is, though, so we will equip that right away. Get there, point DB. For those who haven't played ADOM, DV is dodge value, PV is protection value. DV increases your chance of dodging an attack altogether. PV is your soak, your ability to reduce incoming damage. DV is usually better early game, PV is better late game. Overall, at least in the original ADOM, PV was the preference. I don't know if that's still 100% the case, but that's how it used to work. I'm going to take this loot. Take this loot. I think I just took something off by accident. What did I take off? No, I took off our shoes, our sandals. Do we have anything better? Not really. Okay. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter then. Okay. So, if we go over here, we know we triggered a trap on this tile. If we look at the mini-map, we'll see a trap indicated by a yellow icon. It does not currently show up on the map. There is a detect trap skill, which will tell you how many traps are around the tile. So, like, this tile would have a number 1 on it, indicating that there's a trap somewhere around it. This tile would also have a number 1 on it, so you could guess it's there. It's like the old Minesweeper from Windows. Hopefully they're going to implement it to where trap icons show up on the actual game map, right? But for right now, watch your mini-map, the yellow squares, you know there's a trap. Something to keep in mind. So instead of walking through them, you can jump over them. Especially important with teleportation traps. There we go. So the deal with teleportation traps is sometimes you have one right on the inside of a door. It's almost game breaking if you need to get through the door to, for instance, stairs, right? You need to be careful, we're getting a little near level 3. So many traps. Like right there's a teleport trap. So let's say, again, I would have to get to the end of this hallway because at a level there's a teleportation trap right there. If I don't know how to jump, I'm not getting to the end of the level. Problem though, you can't jump around corners. Can't do it. So if there's a teleportation trap right there, oh, that's aggravating. Basically, you're just going to have to keep triggering it until you get teleported where you want to go. There's no way to bypass it because you can't jump around corners. Very important when we get to a place called the Minotaur Maze. Hopefully you guys will see that a little later, assuming we survive. And I think we will. So yeah, it can be a big deal in the Minotaur Maze. Very obnoxious. It's a neutral monster. We want to fight him, so we can click him and it initiates combat. Okay, and with that in mind, we're almost to level 3. I am going to fast travel to the Kobold lair. Let's ignore this neutral monster, because I don't want to accidentally level up. And we go in. Loading, 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 loading. And then I'm going to show you why we picked up all that equipment. Loading, loading. Loading, loading, loading. Loading, loading. Loading, 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 loading. Use the map to select a spot to walk to. Or you want to walk to, excuse me. Stocking the dungeon. Please wait. Here we are. Let's kill these monsters. Pick up the loot. Inventory. Drop everything. A little bit of lag. Okay, there we are. Let's see if there's anything down here we want. Not particularly. I don't think there's any good use for potions of water. Actually, maybe. I kind of want to do an experiment later if we get far enough, so I'll take that. Money, as far as I can tell, is useless right now. It doesn't seem... Chops don't seem to work. So... we're going to sack everything for experience. Boom. We basically doubled our experience there to gain that level. Pretty epic. So we're level 3 now. I'm going to take improved maximum power, so we can now be an effective spellcaster. And let's go down here. We have a point in magic, a point in arcane, 3 generics. Okay. I want that next level of PV. Let's spend our magical point. Pyromancy again. Let's reduce the pyromancy spell cost. Actually, do we want that? Let me look here. I mean, we could splash out into another domain, right? Huh. What do we want to do? Okay. Alright. Yeah, let's stick Pyromancy for right now, I guess, with our 1 arcane point. Fiery Touch, I don't get the point of it. If you already have Burning Hands, Fiery Touch just sets an object on fire. So yeah, let's just lower spell cost. We have a magical spell point. Kind of tempted to splash into Curing. Nah, let's just keep boosting Pyromancy. So... let's take Wall of Fire. Those are not unlocked to level 4. We have 2 generic skill points. Let's go to Mundane. Let's increase PV regeneration. Or not PV. PowerPoint regeneration. Let's go to Athletics again. We've got to get in our skill before we can unlock Mithril Skin, which will give us +3 PV. Let's go ahead and increase Dexterity. And that is all of our skill points. Alright, Auto Explorer. We are in the Kobold Cave, I think is what this area is called. I don't know what our character is doing right now, but hopefully he does. See, Auto Explorer, we are getting a little bit of lag, like I said. Just sack that for experience. Murder him. Bust the mushroom. Okay, some of the mushrooms are actually very dangerous. Of course, we're going to take the long way around, because pathfinding, yay. Hopefully we can finish this first level of the Kobold Cave. Before we hit an hour on this video. Let's murder these guys. Oh, and they will accidentally hit each other with their ranged attacks, which can be helpful. Someone critted on us somewhere in here. Did some significant damage. Kill him. Kill him, kill him. Stack everything. There we go. Auto Explorer. Lag. This lag is not that bad, though. There are, I should say, at least 2 areas in the game where the lag makes the game unplayable if you don't know how to deal with it. So, if we get there, I will demonstrate the bug fix I was talking about. Build some kobolds. Which, again, just don't look like kobolds to me. They look like little goblins or demons of some sort. Spacebar to wait. Spacebar to wait. Stack everything. Ooh, necklace. Pendant of Beauty, plus 4 to appearance. Now we don't need that. Let's stack it. It does seem like the drop rates for rings and necklaces has increased this patch as well, which is pretty cool. So, oh, another tension room with an exploding wall. Guys, or I should say help them kill themselves with the way they're shooting those arrows. Oh, 2 of them have gotten angry at each other and are fighting to the death apparently. That's always helpful. Oh, look, the guy helped his buddy. That was funny. The dude helped his dude. Murder him, sack. And sack. And sack. And sack. And sack. And sack. And sack some more. Moving on. See, I always thought when they burst in with that little plume of color, what that meant was that they were being teleported into the room. But someone, I think it was Gordon Overkill in his stream, was saying, like, he thinks that it's actually new enemies spawning into the level. So, whereas in ADOM, they always spawn off-screen. ADOM, or Gordon is theorizing they just spawn in randomly in this version. Kill this guy. Ooh, a mushroom room. Yeah, so that was like a fire from a mushroom. And that was not for me hitting it. They do that on a timer. But only once they've entered line of sight, apparently. So yeah, the mushrooms will actually destroy their compatriot mushrooms. In some cases. So I guess it's worth in some situations, actually, rust spores. That's not good. Did our equipment rust? Oh yeah, we just lost our iron shield, although it's still showing up on our character. So that's why mushrooms are dangerous. We'll destroy that one. But if you see a fire mushroom, it's sometimes wise to just wait for it to go off and destroy the other mushrooms. We're now perfect. That's great. I think the most dangerous mushroom is actually fusion mushroom. So I was talking about the fire mushrooms. Like, you see a room full of mushrooms and the fire mushroom in the middle of it, you know, as soon as you see it, it starts a timer, the fire mushroom will go off. And the explosion from the fire mushroom may well clear the entire room for you. So you don't have to risk getting poisoned or rusted. Ooh. A good soundtrack. I love the soundtrack for this level. So good. Murder this guy, sack his stuff. Wait for our guy to take the longest route possible. Didn't even look at our names, so it's Dworen. It's the Dworen. I actually think he's searching for hidden doors right now. One would assume. Apparently once literacy skill works, you'll actually be able to read those messages that are carved into the walls. So that'd be cool. Imagine here it'd be something like, you know, beware of kobolds. Most kobolds aren't dangerous. There's one down at the bottom of this dungeon, though, that, again, from my previous video, don't want to be overconfident. I guess that's why our guy's looking for hidden walls. They're hidden doors right there. And that is lava. Be very, very, very careful to not accidentally walk into it. I'm going to use auto explorers first. I know auto explorer will never drop you into lava. But sometimes I will be clicking around a room manually and, well, I've fallen into it by accident before. So, with that in mind, be very, very careful. I would suggest devs, could you maybe put some sort of warning before your character jumps neck deep into the lava? Just like pop up a little warning on screen. Hey, are you sure that you really want to jump into this lava? Because that'd be cool. Same thing for the water that automatically kills you. Because that's very non-obvious. Like, there's a note about it on one of the loading screens. Oh, we fully explored the level. There's a note about it on one of the loading screens. But especially for new players, it should give you some sort of in-game warning. And our game's lagged out. There we go. Okay, it's playable again. Awesome. I don't have to switch to ASCII mode. Oh, so our guy is now saying that there is more to explore. Now he's saying there isn't. That's fine. Probably means a new item drop on the ground, something like that. So yeah, we need to go down a level. There we are. We're leveled up. let's do our stats before we cut the video off, and then I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna record another video finishing up the Kobold Cave. So, you know, let's just go ahead and get the next PowerPoint upgrade. No, we have to be level 5 for it. Okay. Martial skills, we got 1 + 5. Let's go heavy body armor. Reduce encumbrance, sure. Arcane skills, divine skills. I think we just got 5 generic points, don't we? Yeah. Is there anything really great in pyromancy? Aura of Flames. When the Aura of Flames is expelled, the caster will be wreathed in flames, damaging everyone that dares to strike at them. Potentially, the flames offer some limited protection against enemy blows, grants access to one spell Aura of Flames. Oh, and by the way, in some runs I actually use Hydromancy instead of Pyromancy, because Pyromancy can just damage items on the ground. Hydromancy does not. So that is an argument for going with Hydromancy. Ooh, Fireball. Powerful ball of flame will explode at target space designated by the caster. An excellent spell for taking out groups or oneself if caution is not observed while playing with fire. So that's actually the improved fireball spell from ADOM. Okay. Does Hydromancy have a familiar at the end? Yeah, actually. Summon water elemental and summon ice elemental. Huh. Interesting. Let's go, I think, to athletics. Let's get mithril skin. Let's get another boost to dexterity, which increases to hit. Let's get an increase to hit points. Can't get that until level 5. Let's get an increase to movement speed so we can run away if needed. Another increase to movement speed so we can run away if needed. And I guess an increase to strength. There we go. And with that, guys, with that, I will cut this video off, and I will see you in the next episode of Ultimate ADOM, Caverns of Chaos. Catch ya.